All right, we got graduate inside linebacker John Miller. John is the only player in the Mountain West and one of just 12 players in the country to have at least one full sack in 4 different games this year. So he's in some pretty rarefied air. You guys can go ahead and ask John questions.
Hey, John. Eric Franson with 106.9 The Fan. I just want to ask about the bye week for you and for your unit, just how you utilize the time off, but also time to kind of re-examine what's working or maybe what needs to be improved upon for you and for the linebackers at Utah State.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this bye week, we used it as a week to get better and still work hard, but also try to recover our bodies as much as we could possibly. I feel like that was our biggest thing, is get people healthy, get people back feeling 100%, but also using that bye week as linebackers to make sure that we still keep the physical aspect up and make sure that we're still flying around to the ball. I feel like that's our biggest thing that we want to get worked on, is just being faster and physical and trying to get 11 hats at the ball. That's kind of really the focus.
John, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. The good thing about the bye week is you come to the Monday press conference having seen film and, really fully scouted the opponent, whereas that's not usually the case. So what stood out to you when you've seen film? What stands out to you about Hawaii's offense?
Definitely what stands out to me is them being able to get the ball out quick. They love to throw the ball. They throw the ball about 70, 80 times a game, which is a huge number, especially in our conference too. So definitely just being able to match fast and be able to, like I was saying, flying around to the ball, because they're going to throw a lot of perimeter game, get the ball out to the edges. So being able to add hats to their hats is what we need to do.
John, Jason Walker with Cash Valley Daily. Bronco kind of mentioned this, where you got the defense has had some games where really shut opponents down, and had a couple of games where that wasn't happening as much. Kind of what's the key to getting some consistency with the defense and being the best version of yourselves in more of these games?
I definitely think it's probably being able to know our assignment as the best we can, because if we know our assignment, we can play fast. And that kind of was the biggest thing in those 2 games where we didn't play the best, was our assignments were lackadaisical and we just weren't very detailed. And I feel like that's what we drove into this bye week, was we're going to be more detailed, more focused on our assignments and what we have to do so that we can have all 11 of us playing faster.
John Mark Green with Utah Statesman. Like you said, Hawaii likes to throw the ball and get it out fast, but you've also been a force in the backfield, as Doug was just saying. So what do you kind of see in their game that you can maybe take advantage of on that side?
I see a lot of opportunities. I see a lot of opportunities for not only just me, but our whole front seven being able to attack the quarterback and get back there. I definitely feel like with how many times they do drop back and pass the ball, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for us to take and getting in the backfield and getting sacks, and I feel like we have a good game plan to help us do that.
And coming off of Vanderbilt, obviously they're a similar style of offense. They like to throw the ball, go fast, and things like that. What kind of similarities can you draw between that game style, and how can you take that Vanderbilt performance and improve upon it for this week?
I definitely say the biggest thing that compares those 2 teams together is their quarterback. Their quarterback is kind of the heart of their team. He's somebody who's going to control the game and change the game if he wants to, getting the ball out quick, or being able to just scramble back there in the pocket and make plays last a little bit longer. So I feel like that's the biggest comparable thing that they have.
Your own stats and accomplishments were mentioned at the beginning here. Obviously, you were playing last season, your first season here. But you've obviously taken a bigger role, bigger impact. Just what's that year been like for you? What's been kind of the key for you to having that bigger impact so far?
I definitely think the biggest impact and key to this whole thing has been the coaching staff coming in, the new coaching staff, and how hard they've worked us and how hard they've made us prepare to be able to be successful in those moments. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that's been helping me, is just being able to, the high expectations, the details that they drive into us is probably what has changed from last year to this year.
Hey, John, Eric Franson again. Have you ever gone and had a game in Hawaii before?
No, I have not.
So this is a big travel situation. It looks like the team's leaving a little bit earlier than normal, but what are you guys doing to prepare for that, and just the travel aspect and how that kind of messes with your routines?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the biggest thing that we're going to try to do is stay hydrated and make sure that we wear compression tights or compression undershirts on the plane to help blood flow and stuff like that. We have a lot of good things that our training staff is doing to help us stay rejuvenated and be able to come off the plane ready to go. But definitely the staying hydrated piece and being able to get a good night's sleep before we get on the plane so that we're not too restless on the plane and getting off of it, because I know it's a big time change too. So those are probably the biggest things that we're going to have to focus on for this travel, because I have heard it's very tough and demanding.
And just as a little bit different topic, just you last year, as the season went on, started becoming more and more of a playmaker for Utah State, and that has certainly launched you into the season that you're having now. What's been some of the things that have helped you kind of really dial it in for what you need to be as a playmaker to help this team on defense?
I definitely feel like the biggest thing has been the high expectations they really give us, like the high expectations of them expecting us to make those plays and knowing our assignment is really what helps provide a good pressure, in a sense, to make me want to or make me have to go out there and capitalize and do the things I need to do. But I have to give it up to the strength staff and how they've worked us, because I've never been in this shape in my life, and I feel like that also has to attest to how I'm making these plays, because I'm feeling good and I'm flying around, not getting tired.
Sorry, I can't remember if you addressed this already, but Bronco mentioned the screen game a couple of times for Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen out of their screen game? You got wide receivers, running backs involved in that. What are the biggest keys for you going against that screen game?
I definitely think being able to keep our eyes right, especially when they go to the little shovel screen that they run to the tailback, and even some of the Y slip screens, is definitely just being able to get our eyes in the right spots and get back in our drops and still see the quarterback, because those are some big things that they like to capitalize on, and spread us all out and throw the ball a whole bunch, and then all of a sudden they throw a little running back screen, slip screen underneath, or the running back draw. So definitely just being able to get to the top of our drops and get our eyes back is what's going to help us. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate it.